Does he is it hard for a guy like that has so much attention to understand how hard it's going to be when he gets here? Do you think?
I think we put so unrealistic pressure on these kids with all the recruiting services and the ratings and the rankings, and it's just it's a lot of pressure. And a lot of times, they become overwhelmed once they get here and they actually get on the field, and they're not experiencing the dominating success that they thought they were just because of the buildup. And sometimes it's just so unrealistic. Because you still got to come out here and perform, and you still got to come out here and play, and you're playing against a different caliber a player than what you played against in high school. And so, it's a process, but, I think he's going to be fine. He's working hard. I think, yesterday, he had his best practice that he's had all camp. So I think that gave him a little bit more confidence, and what he can do and what's ahead.
He's going to be able to help you this year, though.
Well, yeah, he's got to help us. I mean, we have no choice. We have to put him on an accelerated plan, based on our needs and all that. So, we've just got to keep him coming. He's got to improve every day.
Talk about the group as a whole. How you feel about it? How are they coming along as you look for the depth?
Well, with the ones, you feel decent, about those guys. When you sit there and you look at Lambert and Adams and Russell, feel really good about those guys. But we've got to develop depth, and we got to develop quality depth. It's an athletic group, but it's still we're a work in progress. And everybody. I think Montravius and Dontavius and Pee Wee. I think they're having a really good camp. They're off to a really good start. The good thing about it, we've got 19 more practices before we play. So there's just so much room for improvement, even out of that group, and then the group that we're trying to develop, to give us some real quality depth.
Who from my time? Do you feel like you have to have that, or might you be, able to go?
Great question. I think it just depends on the season, to be real honest. And one of the things that we've talked about is it might be a year where we don't have that guy like Cameron Artis-Payne who had 350 touches last year. Can Rock Thomas take 350 touches? Probably not. So I think we're going to have to divvy it up and distribute it a little more. But at the same time, that kind of remains to be seen. We'll see how it all plays out. But again, I said it earlier, I don't know how many of y'all were here. I think ultimately this group will be one of the strengths of our team because I think we've got 4 quality players that can play.
Yeah, since we've been here, you were talking Rock and Javon. Peyton's a guy that has been around. In a lot of cases, guys like this might be gone, but he's still here working.
No question. The most important ability is reliability. And as a coach, you've got to be able to trust them. And trust that they're going to know what to do, trust that they're going to take care of the ball, trust that they're going to know their assignments. And that's what Peyton Barber is. He's someone that I have a great deal of trust in. Putting him in the game, he's going to do great. He just needs the opportunity, and he's going to get the opportunity. He's earned the opportunity. And so, like I said earlier, I think Peyton and Rock have kind of, they're a little ahead right now of the other two, but again, the competition's been great.
And then Carry-On, of course, the newcomer, gives you a little bit different, a couple of different things. He's shown in the past to be a great receiver, has excellent hands.
He's earlier I said it, but he's a pro before he's a pro. He's very mature for someone that's a true freshman. The other day in the scrimmage, he can create an explosive play for you. And he's been dinged up here the last couple of days. We're looking forward to getting him back on the field here in the next day or so. And he's got a great future here.
I know you talked about it right before I got here, but just a little bit about Jovan, and I heard you say that he kind of got off to a slow start.
Philip, he's really done well the last 3 or 4 days, so I don't want to throw rocks on him not getting off to a good start. But I think whether it's Javon or Rock or Peyton or whoever, any player, there's a certain standard that your players have to adhere to if we want to win and be successful and be the best you can be. And I don't know that Javon really understood that standard early, but I think he's figuring it out now and has done really well the last 3 or 4 days. And I just can see him continuing to get better and improve.
Can you find a way to use all these guys?
We're going to try. One of the things that we've challenged that group with, and again, it remains to be seen, and obviously Coach Fountain heads a lot of this up, but Corey Grant will make the Jacksonville Jaguars because of what he can do on special teams. Cameron Artis-Payne is getting his stock's really going up right now with Carolina because he can play different special teams. And so we would like, whether it's Rock as a kickoff returner, whether it's Peyton as someone trying to block a punt, whatever it may be, we want to get those 4 guys involved on special teams more so than we have in the past with the running backs maybe.
What? A guy who has coached so many successful running backs, what's the secret?
Well, I kind of said it earlier, and we've all heard the quote before, you can't win the Kentucky Derby on a donkey. I mean, you got to have some players. And so I'm not going to try to kid myself and think I'm some guru coach. Been very blessed to coach some really good players that have the work ethic, that have the coachability, that I think can help take them from being a 7 to being a 9.5.
What's it like to kind of go into maybe September 5th and not have some answers yet? And that is it excitement, is it disconcerting? Is it all of those things combined?
I think good question. I think it would be disconcerting if you didn't like what you saw, but I like what I see in the running back room, and that's football. That's every year. You're going to have some people that hadn't played a whole lot or people that don't have experience and all those kinds of things. But I think that's one of the things that makes it exciting for the coaches, the players, the fans, everybody that follows it. So there are some answers that remain to be seen, but obviously we're cautiously optimistic that we're going to be just fine.
How hard is it as a coach? You get close to these kids, and it's so important to them, and somebody is going to be disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody that's probably worked hard is going to be disappointed.
Good question, Philip, because looking back, if I could do it again, I was a business major in college. I should have majored in psychology, to be honest, and because, you really, in a time in our world when it's all about me, and I, you're trying to teach the we and the team. And I'm really encouraged and looking forward to seeing how we respond to the team. I think about, and I talked to Cadillac Williams this morning, and you think about how Cadillac and Ronnie Brown, just together, they fed off each other, and it ended up being great for both of them. And I talked to Darren McFadden yesterday, and he and Felix Jones and Peyton Hillis kind of did the same thing. Well, I hope we can do that same thing with this group, but that remains to be seen. We'll see how it evolves.
With Jeremy's skill set,
Wondering about this, it seems like returners, and especially maybe a punt return, might be that time where it could be as distracting as anything to have that in the background because the ball's going to go up.
That's
and
right.
perhaps in
yeah,
that.
we're worried about that, and because the kids have not done that. So what we're going to try to do with our scrimmages is flip the board on, and we've done that some just to get them used to it. And a kid, you might be running down the field and you're out in front of everybody. You might look at the board and try to get a feel. So that's going to be really interesting. And I do know, I will tell you this, 3 years ago we were playing in a stadium, and I do remember we had a guy caught a ball and he got out in front. And he said he looked at this particular school's board, and it wasn't a big jumbo board, but he looked at the board and saw the guy fishing to grab his foot, and he picked it up and went on down to score. So I think that's going to be a good piece for a player to use in the course of a game. Some guys are going to have a better feel than others. Awareness.
You came here in 2009. Be kind of an interesting ride. Could you have imagined all the things you would experience, good and bad? I mean, a national championship, another national championship game, and
well, I tell you, it's been wonderful, really. When I was at Florida State, we played for one national championship against Florida State against Florida. And back then, it didn't have the whole BCS Bowl and stuff. but to come back here and to play for it and win it in 2010 and then go back again in 13 was really exciting. And meeting Coach Miles on has been a blessing. Getting a guy that's kind of an offensive innovator, and it's just good to be around a cutting edge coach like him. And Muschamp's here, and be around a coach like Coach Muschamp, and we've had a lot of good coaches here. It's just been a wonderful experience.
We haven't heard a lot about, over the course of camp, about your two H-backs, about Cameron and Chandler.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about kind of where they stand right
They're
now?
doing a good job. They're both freshmen. Cam's a redshirt freshman, but Cam's got really good pop at the point of attack. Chandler's a real football savvy guy, really understands the game, brings that to the table for us. So I think we have two really good players. They're probably better than we've had since I've been here. And Jalen Harris is playing tight end, had a really good camp. And Jalen's going to be helping us at tight end, but he'll also do some things for us in the backfield.
Do you know who the guy is yet? Who's going to start?
Not yet. They're in a good competition, and it's not like you're hoping one's better than the other. I think we got two really good ones. I think you're going to see both of them.
That's what I was going to ask you.
They're good enough, both of them, to be on the field this year.
Will every time they be on the field at the same time?
Oh yeah.
Can one of them line up at tight end? Is that?
Well, I think with Chandler and Petway they could. I think Jalen's going to be more of that tight end, him and Chris Lay. But with their body types and stuff, you'll see them do more in the backfield. But definitely could put their hand down or split them out at times if we need to.
You actually going to let them touch the ball?
I hope so. That's the plan. They're good athletes. And the neat thing with both of them is Petway was a running back previously, and then Chandler in high school was kind of a single wing quarterback. So they're both very good with the ball in their hands. And Jay Price was a very good blocker here. But the passing, catching the ball, and running with it probably wasn't his best strength. Is when blocking, whereas Petway and Chandler, I think, catch the ball well and can do things with it after they catch the football. So,
Well, Jay claimed he could too.
oh, he can. He did. he did it with a cast on his hands. Jay Price, one of my all-time favorites. He was a tough man.
The punters, any concern there?
Well, we'll let Daniel concentrate on kicking. We've had Shannon, the freshman, and that's Kevin Phillips, our junior college that came in from Mississippi Gulf Coast. Kevin was here this spring, had a really good spring, and he's having a really good camp. Ian's having a really good camp, so I think we got two quality guys there, and we're going to try to name a starter here in the next 7 to 10 days. And I think what Kevin brings to the table is the experience of doing it in the junior college and then being here this spring, whereas Ian's coming right out of high school. But they're both very talented, and I think we're so farther ahead than we were a year ago.
You're talking about all the things. You've been on obviously great teams. You've been on teams that had a hard time. What do you see? What is it? Obviously, talent is a difference, but sometimes talented teams are great teams. What do you see as the key to get over that edge and be a great team?
I think the biggest thing, like I said, you do need players, but it's just togetherness, everybody being on the same page from the coaching staff to the players. And that's why I think Coach Malzahn does so well, is he's going to hold the players and the coaches very accountable, make sure they're doing their job, doing what they're supposed to do. And I know in 2013 we really had that on our team. They kind of gelled more and more as the year went along. Last year I think we lost a little bit of that. And this year I see it right now. I see it in camp, and that's kind of got me excited, So, but at the end of the day, it's so important that everybody's on the same page. If you do that, you got a chance to be great.
Find that, and once you find it, you bring.
I'm sure you've been asked about 10 times already today, just about your guys and how they're coming along.
Yep. Really good. I'm excited about where we are. Obviously, we're not there yet. We got 3 weeks to get there, but they are improving on a day-to-day basis from an assignment standpoint, from a technique standpoint, from an execution and production standpoint. And they're doing a great job at that, and we'll continue to get better if we just continue to work like we've been working. And that's the one thing I'm excited about. Our creed at Auburn is work hard, work, and you see our guys. They're working hard. They're very constant of the game and what they want to get better at, and they're doing that. So
Have you the nickel corner? Who's going to play corner? Who's going to play nickel? Those things. You made those decisions yet?
We really still evaluating. A lot of guys have got a bunch of reps at that position, from Blake to Josh to Jeremiah Denson to Tim Irvin. Then I played a bunch of nickel, and then outside all those guys play corner as well. So no, we hadn't made any decisions yet. We'll kind of move forward with that a little bit next week and kind of make decisions. So we got a big scrimmage coming up, and it's going to be, we call it moving day. It's going to be guys moving around a little bit, and guys, we're going to find out what guys can do the best, and we'll put them in that position.
I know Trey Matthews been banged up a little bit. Is he?
He close, not all the way. He kind of participated in a little bit of practice, the things that he can do, but not all the way 100% full, ready to go yet. Next week he'll be back, and we'll get him back going and get him back up to date with what we're doing. But he's doing a really good job of trying to get back in meetings and in walkthroughs and in individual periods and in team install periods and all the different things like that. He kind of take parts in that.
How much has he missed?
It's a couple days.
A couple days.
Yeah.
What have you seen from Blake since he got here in the summer?
Really good leader, really good kid, very smart, can play multiple positions. You can tell he played in the Big Ten. I mess with him all the time. Played against a lot of runs because he's really good at tackling. He's really good at disengaging, getting off blocks, which speaks volume on his coaches in Michigan. They did a great job with him, and we're excited about having him. He's a huge addition to what we're doing, and I'm so glad that he fell in our lap. God got a funny way of working things out sometimes.
A lot of the guys so far have talked about how the secondary seems a lot more close-knit now. Obviously, the corners and the safeties are in the same meeting room. What have you seen from that just since you've gotten here as to how the bond between those guys is there?
I think they always had a good bond, but it was more, just getting to communicate with each other more, even when it didn't have to do with football. So, we do a lot of different things in our meeting room, from, hey, learning about your teammate, to, hey, give me up, stand up and tell me something that somebody don't know about you. But just in camp, man, we meet so much, and the film is on, and it's rolling so much, and you walk through so much, and you're doing all that stuff that you forget that you're human sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing, being a player kind of helps me, be able to step back and say, okay, all right, what's some of the things that I wish we would have did when I was playing? So just find out about a guy. There's a lot of guys sitting in rooms all across America that don't know if they're the only kid, or whatever the case may be. They didn't like football, they was a hockey player, or whatever the case may be. So we do that a lot, just getting our guys to communicate with each other, and they're doing a great job of it. And we always had a close group of DBs, and they're doing a good job of it.
What does that stand?
It's really all formations and personnel based. People in sub packages and all now. So you have a nickel Sam as your outside backer, usually to receiver strength or to the field, and then the buck position is obviously a weak side defensive end. Rusher can drop a little bit, for the most part rushes. So I've had a great group of kids that are working hard this fall, and obviously Carl's getting a lot of press because everybody's excited about him coming back and being healthy. Carl does a tremendous job for us, unbelievably athletic, works hard. But I think Javi's had a really good preseason at the Sam position. And Javi's a great special teams player for us, a great team player in general. And we've been pleased with that position. They've done a good job this preseason.
So is Javi kind of ahead at the Sam?
At the Sam position versus regular, he'd be the starter. Right?
How about the nickel backs?
Well, nickel backs, we got a number of guys working there. We got Blake Countess working there. T-Rob does a great job with those guys. Josh Holsey's been in there. Timmy Irvin's been in there. So we got a lot of guys, working and competing at that position.
Javi's really waited a long time.
Javi's been very patient. He's been a great team member. In this day and age, the kids want instant gratification. He's been truly loyal to Auburn and the football team, and just an outstanding young man. Works hard, brings a high level of energy and excitement to the program, and we feel good about Javi.
How's married life?
Married life's awesome.
Got married this summer, right?
Got married this summer, absolutely.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.